Hi guys, welcome to this video. This is the 16th video of the WORDPANDIT Premier League. In this, I correlate cricket and words. When I say I correlate, I am Prashant. I am the founder of WordPandit, and I am doing this series for my love of words and for my love of cricket, combining both my passions. And I have this series of videos for you. Now, yesterday we had a match. We had the second match of yesterday between Kolkata Knight Riders and Delhi Capitals. It was at Sharjah. All the matches we've had there have been absolute run fests, and no surprises yesterday as well. We had tons and tons of sixes, fours, boundaries, action-packed match, and we have some very interesting words to learn from the context yesterday. In fact, the first word that we are going to study today is nous in this particular video. What does nous mean? Nous is generally used in the informal context, and it refers to good judgment, practical ability, your judgment in practical matters, being pragmatic, right? Showing common sense. So nous is nothing else, if you replace it by a simple word, is common sense here, right? Your discretion, your discreetness, your gumption, your horse sense, your level-headedness. Now, yesterday, Delhi Capitals' tactical nous were much better than those of Kolkata Knight Riders. They outwitted them basically. They bowled in, as far as their bowling goes, good job done by Rabada and Nokia. Both the South Africans, they bowled the hard lengths. Delhi Capitals used a lot of seamers yesterday. I think just 3 overs of spin in their bowling effort, right? So that is where they use their tactical nous. And I heard this word from Mark Nicholas. Mark Nicholas used it. He's an excellent commentator. You should actually go and read his articles on ESPN Cricinfo. Very interesting articles. He writes them very well, and they are very good for learning new words as well as improving your English. Very good standard of the language in those articles. So he's a good author to follow. So Mark Nicholas, he's a commentator as well as an author, a writer. Mark Nicholas used the word nous on live commentary, and that's where I picked it up, and I thought I have to add this in today's video, right? So one great word to add to your word power today. So whenever you have to say common sense now, instead of saying common sense, say nous, right? Now also, the formal usage of nous is in the subject of philosophy, where it is used to refer to the mind or the intellect, right? So again, you can see there is a correlation or a connection with common sense. So one fascinating word to start off this particular video. The second word today is bludgeon. What does bludgeon refer to? Another word which perfectly fits in Sharjah, right? Bludgeon is to hit someone repeatedly hard with a heavy weapon, to batter them, to cudgel them, club, strike, hit, thrash, hammer, beat up, clobber them, right? That is bludgeoning someone. And why do we have this word? Because bowlers have been bludgeoned in Sharjah, right? Shreyas Iyer took apart the bowlers in the first innings. Then we had Morgan and Tripathi coming in and bashing the bowlers in KKR's innings, right? And the bowlers are bludgeoned to all parts. They are literally, and the heavy weapon that is used at Sharjah is actually the cricket bat, right? So the bat is actually a weapon in the hands of batsmen in Sharjah, right? They really are bludgeoning the bowlers. And just continuing the same thread of thought, Morgan and Tripathi, they almost pulled off something incredible, right? We've had this in this particular IPL where the last 5 overs, the bowlers have been ripped apart, and we've had impossible chases or almost impossible chases completed. And yesterday also we had one such example. We know one daylight robbery that has been committed. 30 runs were taken off an over by Rahul Tewatia at Sharjah itself, right, where he hit 5 sixes of Sheldon Cottrell. We had another daylight robbery almost committed yesterday by Morgan and Tripathi, right? Just that one thought, if Morgan had not gotten out, right, I have a feeling that they would have probably won that match, right? So that is how close they were. A couple of sixes and KKR were through. They would have actually committed daylight robbery, right? Delhi Capitals were in charge of the complete chase. Last couple of overs they let it go, and daylight robbery was committed. Now, what does the phrase daylight robbery? I have kept repeating it. What does it mean? I think you should be able to understand it from the context, right? It refers to a situation, right, where something improbable has been achieved and someone has been robbed of something. There is this element of, there is this degree of unfairness implied, right, in daylight robbery. Now, technically, the expression refers to a situation where you pay far too much money for something, or something has been levied upon you which is unfair. You are being robbed in broad daylight, right? So that means it's expensive, it's costly, it's exclusive, it's extravagant, it's pricey. All these words are used synonymously. It's also, in a way, it's used to refer to something where you end up paying for something that you should not be paying for, right? And where does this expression come from? It has a very, very interesting origin. So William III of England in 1696, yeah, that's the time I'm talking about, he imposed a tax. Now, what was the tax that he imposed? Anyone having more than 6 windows in his house, right, he was supposed to pay a tax. So that was the window tax which was introduced. Now, what did people do? Any window more than 6, the 7th window, 8th window, 9th window, they left the first 6 windows aside. The 7th window onwards, they shuttered them up to to save on those taxes, to prevent a situation where they have to pay those taxes. Now, when they did that, when they shuttered the windows, what happened? There was a loss of daylight in their homes, and that is where the expression comes from. Their daylight was robbed. They were robbed of their daylight because of what? Because of the excessive tax that they had to pay, or an unfair tax that they had to pay. And that is the context it comes from. So daylight robbery comes from this particular context. Super fascinating origin. So when you either pay too much money for something, or in the sense that in this sense that we are implying, Morgan and Tripathi almost committed daylight robbery. That means you take far too much from someone. You take something you're not supposed to take, right? So these are the different contexts in which this expression can be used. Fascinating expression, fascinating 3 words as well today. I hope you had a wonderful time learning these words through this video, and you had fun watching this video. This is Prashant signing off. Thank you very much for watching this video, and as always, happy learning.